We are trusting AI with more and more of our lives. I mean, everything from who gets a job to who gets a loan. But what happens when that trust is broken? In this explainer, we're going to unpack the framework for building AI that's not just powerful, but truly responsible. All right, let's get into it.
Look, there's no doubt that AI has the potential to be an absolute game changer for humanity. We're talking about everything from helping cure diseases to tackling climate change. But, like any powerful tool, it comes with some pretty significant risks. So how do we harness all of that good while dodging the bad? That's really the core question we're tackling today.
Because when AI gets it wrong, it's not just a computer making some little mistake. It can mean a real person being denied a crucial medical treatment or even being falsely accused of a crime. And what we see all too often is that these errors fall hardest on people who are already in vulnerable positions.
Take this example from the world of recruiting. Amazon built a hiring tool that learned from about a decade's worth of resumes. The problem? Most of those resumes came from men. So the AI basically taught itself that male candidates were the ideal and started actively penalizing resumes that had words like women's in them.
And we see a really similar story in healthcare. An algorithm was designed to flag patients who needed extra care. It used past healthcare spending as a key signal for need. But because of systemic inequities in access to care, it ended up drawing a dangerous conclusion. It thought Black patients were healthier than equally sick white patients, simply because less money had been spent on their care in the past.
Can you just imagine being wrongly identified as a criminal by a facial recognition system just because of the color of your skin? I mean, this isn't some scene out of a sci-fi movie. This is a real-world consequence of biased AI, and it has absolutely devastating outcomes for individuals and entire communities.
So you see, these examples aren't just a few isolated screw-ups. They're symptoms of a much deeper problem. AI has this tendency to reflect and sometimes even amplify the biases that already exist in our society. So the really crucial question is, where does this bias actually come from, and what can we possibly do to stop it?
Well, a paper from the Journal of Applied Artificial Intelligence points to three main sources. First, you've got data-driven bias. This is where the AI learns from historical data that's just packed with past inequalities. The key insight here is that AI doesn't invent bias, it just scales it. Second, there's algorithmic bias, where the model's own logic can create unfair results. And finally, there's human bias, where the prejudices of the actual people building the system get baked right into its design from day one.
And the impact of these biases can be absolutely devastating. Research from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, or NIST, has shown that they can lead to real-world, tangible harm for people, for organizations, and for society as a whole. This isn't just about getting some bad press. We're talking about real damaging consequences.
Okay, so we understand the problem, and we've got a handle on its roots. The big question now is, what do we do about it? How do we move from just pointing out the risks to actually building AI systems that we can genuinely trust?
So how do we build AI that we can actually trust? Well, according to NIST, it's not about finding one single silver bullet. It's about a whole combination of factors, everything from reliability and safety to fairness and transparency. You can almost think of it as a comprehensive checklist for building AI responsibly.
Now, what's really fascinating about this is how these characteristics all fit together. You'll see that validity and reliability form the bedrock. I mean, if an AI system doesn't even work correctly, then nothing else really matters, right? All the other elements like safety, fairness, and explainability, they're all built right on top of that foundation. And notice that vertical pillar, accountability and transparency. It touches everything.
To put all those principles into practice, NIST gives us a 4-step playbook. It starts with govern. That means creating a culture that takes AI risk seriously from the top down. Then you map out the context of your AI system and all its potential impacts. After that, you measure those risks. And finally, you manage them by dedicating real resources to fix the problems you've found. It's designed to be a continuous loop of improvement.
But here's the thing. Even the best technical frameworks have their limits, and that's why a growing chorus of experts and regulators are calling for another absolutely crucial element: meaningful human oversight. Because when it comes to AI, we just can't set it and forget it.
So, what does human oversight actually look like in practice? Well, it's about making sure that a doctor, not an algorithm, has the final say in a patient's diagnosis. It's making sure a judge, not a predictive policing tool, is the one who decides someone's fate. It's all about keeping humans firmly in the driver's seat, especially when the stakes are high.
And this is not a one-size-fits-all kind of solution. there are actually different models depending on the risk level. So at the very top, you have human in command, where a person has absolute veto power, perfect for things like critical infrastructure. Next down is human in the loop, where a person has to validate a decision before it happens, like in medical diagnoses. And then there's human on the loop, which is more of a supervisory role for routine stuff like fraud detection, where a person just monitors the system and only steps in when they're needed.
Okay, so when you put it all together, you can start to see a clear path forward. It's not about choosing between a technical framework or human oversight. The real solution is combining them to create a robust system of checks and balances. And this leads us to a few core principles for anyone building or using this technology.
So what are the key takeaways here? To build AI responsibly, we need to focus on these core principles. First off, build diverse teams to avoid those dangerous blind spots. Second, be transparent about how these systems work so people can actually understand and trust them. Third, ensure there's real accountability when things go wrong. And finally, you have to continuously monitor and improve these systems over time. This isn't a one-time fix, it's an ongoing commitment.
Ultimately, an AI system is a mirror. That's all it is. It reflects the data we feed it, the logic we program into it, and the human values or biases that we embed within it. So the most important question we have to ask ourselves isn't really about technology at all. It's about us. What kind of society do we want this powerful new mirror to reflect?